Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
And a very good afternoon to you, listeners on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, 810 medium wave and on digital. It is Celtic against Dundee United all the way here, but I will keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere as the goals go in across the country. As the new Celtic coaching staff, the returning Celtic coaching staff, make their way out of the tunnel down below us after the two teams made their way out onto the pitch. The lights flash across the roofs of the stadium here. And it is Celtic against Dundee United for the second time in a month, as United look to do the double over the champions for the first time in 3.5 decades. After that come-from-behind victory last month. 2-1 win at Tannadice. Celtic led in 13 minutes through Maida before it turned around in the second half, with Kerestes and Sapsford scoring in a 3-minute spell around the hour mark. And as you can hear, Martin O'Neill being welcomed back to the fans just a month after saying goodbye to them. It's almost as if it didn't happen. He was seeking out Jim Goodwin. He's found him now. Goodwin made his way out of the tunnel after O'Neill as he goes to shake hands with the rest of the Celtic technical team down below us. They've gone a long time between victories over Celtic, had United, until they produced the 3 points in December. It's been even longer since they won here, Boxing Day 1992, and 50 visits ago since the Tangerines tasted success at Celtic Park when Duncan Ferguson scored the winning goal. Can they inflict back-to-back defeats on Celtic with the returning O'Neill in the dugout? Schmeichel in goal for the champions. Arojo gets his starting debut. Trusty Scales, Tierney, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Yang Tenekti and Maida. For United, it's Richards in goal, Shebe, Kerestes and Graham, the club captain. Namo, Stevenson, Sibbald, Kamara and Ferry, Sapsford and Sturton. Celtic will kick off going from left to right here in the green and white hoops towards the Lisbon line stand, as they tend to do in the first half of matches here. United in the tangerine and black, and they will shoot west towards the Jockstein stand as Trusty picks up and knocks it out to Arojo on this near side to Yang. His first time ball looking for Maida. Goes to Ross Graham, who clears and it breaks to Sibbald in the midfield with the left foot, rolls it back into his own half for Vichko. Cheve is back in that back three, the midfielder by trade, but he's played there several times in the past for Dundee United. It's a long ball forwards, comes back to the goalkeeper Richards, headed away by Tierney, breaks in the midfield to Engels, who finds Yang, and now with Arojo, plays it straight off Ferry, bounces off. Ferry seems to have been injured by that, and the referee's going to stop play here. Nick Walsh is in the middle. Ferry's down, and I think he's taken square in the face there, so the ref didn't really have too much option other than to stop the game. So the opening minute of this one, Celtic against Dundee United, slightly surreal to see Martin O'Neill back down there. That was the game against Dundee here. It was a narrow win. Maida scored the only goal. He got a head knock at the time. It wasn't that long ago, but in other ways it feels like a lifetime ago, because that Nancy era, just 33 days as it was, it felt like a whole lot longer for the Celtic supporters.
Well, listen, he's back. Sean Maloney, he's got a staff in around about him too, and Sean and Mark Fotheringham, and Sean in particular, very sensible head, good coach, knows what he's about, and he will have a big influence on the players tactically and on the pitch. Martin will be doing his normal thing, leadership, talking to the players, getting their minds right, which is again is a big part of management and so on, but it's going to be a tougher job, I think, this time round. They can't afford to lose anything. This game today, I think, is pivotal. I think they've got 4 away games coming up now after this, and this one, even though one of them is against Auchinleck and it's in a neutral stadium, but so today is vital. Just get the fans settled down, get the confidence back up, get everybody on the side. Dundee United will make it hard. They have that experience of Tannadice. And I'm just looking at a big boy up front. Haven't seen him before, Owen Stritton. He is a big lad. He's about 6'2", and they'll be playing as they've done in that situation, balls up to him and trying to feed off him.
Yeah, big afternoon for the United youngster, 18 years of age. It's that one goal from 10 appearances, but this is just his third start for the top team as Engels picks up and looks to put Yang in behind. Good covering across there for United as Graham gets it out to this near side, and Kamara infield it goes. Kerestes clears it up towards halfway, and then Callum McGregor slides in to win it back off Sapsford, who scored that wonderful goal. Really fine dispatch in the match at Tannadice.
Yeah, I think they're happy we're in Celtic, are happy within obviously this formation, and they'll build a game at times. I don't think it'll be as frenetic as it was in the opening spell, even against Rangers and Aberdeen. It'll be much more, I think, studied would be the word I would use from that perspective.
Yang with the outside of the boot looking to nick it into Engels in the box, doesn't reach its target. United able to get it away. Arojo picks it up on this near side. You get a proper look at Leon Arojo this afternoon. He came off the bench against Rangers a week ago as it slipped out to Tierney wide on the left hand side. No goals in the opening 3.5 minutes. Tenekte back from AFCON duty, slips to the left side of the box for Hatate, away from Chevy, and back low ball out to Tierney, who finds Tenekte, then to Tierney, and then Scales to McGregor. They'll certainly be looking to continue with the left off under O'Neill. 7 wins in 8. The only blot in the copybook was in Denmark against Midtjylland in the Europa League. That fine victory over Feyenoord, and amongst that is Arojo picks up right of the United box and finds Yang at the right angle, and now it's with McGregor, who plays it with the left foot infield to Hatate. Little spin there against Stevenson, rolls it to the left central area for Tierney, bends the ball in, headed away by Graham and helped on its way by Stevenson.
Yeah, that was a lot of possession there from Celtic, but that was their first cross into the box. Didn't quite find the target from Tierney's cross, but a lot more control, I think, in the way that they're approaching this game. Dundee United back at the edge of their 18, sort of just almost defending as a 10-man defensive unit.
Arojo picks up midway inside the United half. Short ball forward to Yang and back to Arojo. Plays it into the central position for McGregor, who guides it out to Tierney on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the D of the United box. Here's Tenekte. Celtic have certainly started on the front foot. Tenekte on the far side attacking Chevy, one way then the other, into the byline, pulls it back. Maida can't make any contact, and United clear. And it's good play by Celtic, and let's not forget they played pretty well in that first half against Rangers last week. They've got to start putting these chances away, because some of the matches under O'Neill in his interim spell, 7 wins out of 8 as I said, but a lot of them were pretty narrow ones. Yeah,
it's just probably a bit of composure, relaxation, confidence also comes into it. They've just given the ball away in the middle of the pitch, but yeah, that was a good run from Tenekte there. Just he's coming back from the African Nations Cup, but he's coming back as a fit, sharp player from that perspective, so he's lost nothing from going away, and he's probably had a bit of spell of sun also in his back.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Tournament in Morocco. Tenekte, 1 start for him at the tournament, 2 sub appearances in the groups. There was an unused sub in their defeat to Mali last week. It was last Saturday in the last 16 of the tournament. United have a man down here.
I think it's
meantime.
Chevy's
down here. Chevy. Say it slowly for me.
Chevy. All right, Chevy. Good.
Sorted.
Hey, guess. Yeah. I love working with you, Liam. You always keep me right. That's for sure.
That's one of the easier ones, Packy. Come on. Anyway, he's down getting a bit of treatment in the middle of the pitch. Ross Graham goes over to make sure his teammate's okay, and he's an important player for Jim Goodwin. They have absolutely bombed out Bert Esselink from the team today, and he's not even in the squad. Having had a dreadful afternoon against Dundee in the derby last week. United looking to react to their own derby pain, but it looks like they're going to be forced into an early change here. Ichiko Chevy is going to have to come off, I think. Yuri Ovu is going to have to come on. So this is an early blow for Jim Goodwin. They're certainly getting Ovu ready down below us in the dugout.
Yeah, it's a huge blow to them, because I thought he did really well at Tannadice when he came off the bench and that second half. He read the game really well, stepped into midfield when he needed to do, but also was there to give a little bit of balance and cover to the other defenders when the ball's played up to them.
They're putting him back on for now, but I don't think that it's going to be too long before Yovu has to replace Chevy. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that as Arojo knocks it back to Trusty inside his own box to Schmeichel. He plays it to the left for Scales and out to the touchline for Tierney. Schmeichel getting some stick, Packy, for that third Rangers goal last week, the Mikey Moore one. Do you subscribe to that?
Yeah, to a point at a time, yeah, you've got to call it. Listen, he's come up with big saves also, and he's very, very experienced, and he's had a brilliant career, I've got to say. And, you know, he follows in his father's footsteps, which is never easy for a goalkeeper, but a brilliant career. But, you know, there's a stage probably where you get a little bit older, maybe you're a little bit less reactive, and maybe making decisions, and so it goes for me a little bit. But yeah, he'll be happy that Martin O'Neill's back and he's playing higher up the pitch.
Tenecti driving up to the edge of the box, good skill, he got away from a few challenges, just waited too long though, and United crowd him out and get it clear.
Yeah, just overdid it, didn't he? He was in a great position to have to get the strike away. Did all the hard work initially, you know, beat a couple of players, dropped the shoulder, got inside, and then he just tried to carry on.
Here's Tierney at the edge of the box, shoots, and it's deflected wide for the corner, the first of the match, which comes at 8 minutes. It is goalless.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the goalkeeper will. I think the goalkeeper was seeing that all the way, but just a deflection took it to his right, and I'm not sure how far past the post it was from the angle we're sitting here at, but could have easily ended up in the back of it. But if you shoot, that's what I was saying about Tenecti, have a shot, you never know what can happen.
Celtic corner, then Engels to take, in swinger with the right boot from the Celtic left as they attack the goal to our right. We're in the main stand, halfway up it behind the United dugout. In from Engels, Scales tries to flick the header on, it breaks to Trusty, it does head for goal, but it's seen behind by Richards, who's the canvas man in the penalty area there, arms outstretched, he sees it behind for the goal kick. Chevy staying on for now, Jovu's got the bib back on, so they're going to allow the Croatian to try and settle back into the game here before they potentially have to make a call on his fitness a little bit later.
It will depend on the next probably 10 minutes where he'll probably come under again pressure as a defender, and you've got to be almost 100% when you're up against Celtic.
Long ball forward then by Richards into the midfield. It goes. Maida wins it at the halfway line, heads it into the United half. Nobody in green and white though. And Ross Graham can roll it back to his goalkeeper. Richards hits it first time with the right foot into the Celtic half. It goes, bounces off the head of Ferry, didn't know much about it. Forward by Sapsford, looking to get Sturton involved. Scales though holds him off, and it ends up back with Schmeichel, who beats it forward out to Tenecti on the left, back down the line to Tierney, and infield to McGregor.
You just mentioned Schmeichel, it's interesting, you know, he's playing out on the edge of his box now, which he was, I think, in an initial period when it was a back four. When it went to a back three, he was always back on a 6-yard box, and his range of passing then was different. He had to find different, it was a different length, of course, to get to the forward players, and that last pass he made just there was a really good pass, high up over the halfway line to Yang.
Hatate for Celtic, midway inside United territory. Squares it to Arojo. Then out to this near side. Engels takes a touch. It's a low ball into the box, which is blocked and cleared by Carestes. Breaks to Scales, out to the left there for Tenecti. Now he's found Tierney at the byline, tries to pull it back across. It's come off him last, does it? No, it is a corner. And it will be a Celtic corner over on the left again. Second one of them in the last minute or so.
Yeah,
0-0, 11 play.
The first corner, Scales made that run near post, just missed it actually. Just came off his shoulder actually, and went up into the air for Trusty, and they're all bunched up in round that 6-yard box. They're picked up man for man. Lots of bodies in around the goalkeeper. Big space out round the penalty spot, but it'll be directed in and top of the goalkeeper again.
Engels to take again, right-footed again, into the box it comes, into the 6-yard area, headed away by Graham. And United just trying to get through these opening stages of the match unscathed. Hatate picks up on the near side, gets away from Sturton, up to the edge of the area, right to the D. Square ball, I'm sure, was intended for Scales, but it's made its way out to Tenecti instead, who finds Engels left angle of the box, pulled back to Tierney.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know, Celtic have got all their players within about 30 yards from the Dundee United goal, and that means then, of course, the opposition, Dundee United, have all the defenders back in there. Difficult to break them down, but you know, the problem for Dundee United is that when they won the ball, they have no out ball. There's nobody up high up the pitch.
There's a ball forward down the left for Tenecti to chase. He's going to get there, down at the byline. Lifts the ball high into the United box, headed away by Carestes. And Pan Camara comes over and gets onto it on the left side and knocks it up the line to Sturton, who's pinched off him by Arojo, who finds McGregor, who finds Engels, and it's back to Callum McGregor. With the left foot to Tierney. Tenecti over on the touchline. Infield instead it comes to Engels. The ball is cut out by Craig Sibbald. And then it breaks back to McGregor, who finds Arojo. Out to the right-hand side for Yang. Haven't seen much of him in the match so far. He's found Arojo in the inside channel, pulls it back, away by Carestas again. United asking for trouble here, though they are defending manfully at the moment, but still, it's just not even 13 minutes into the match.
Yeah, they're just
only so long you can do this.
Trying to stay in the game for 20-25 minutes.
There's Yang on this near side, back to Arojo. Level with the 18-yard line, back to Yang at the byline. First time low ball across, Carestas in the way. And then cleared by Kamara with the right foot. Controlled by Trusty, just outside the centre circle, back to Scales. And what will groan from the Celtic supporters, the ball went back instead of forward. As Tierney picks up and plays it out to that left-hand side for Tenecti. Level with the penalty spot, back to the edge of the area for Engels, to Hatate. Right footed out to Tierney, time to take a touch, crosses in. Yang's headers over the bar. It's the Celtic 0, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, we've seen him do that a number of occasions. Yang get into the back post. He was up against Will Ferry. Just obviously he's got a couple of inches, and Will Ferry just climbed over the top of him, but Will Ferry just backed into him and made it difficult, and he just headed the ball up rather than down.
No goals in the other 3 Premiership matches taking place this afternoon at Easter Road, Ammon Vale and St Mirren Park. And of course, there's a whole host of games off, including the Championship, Morton, Dunfermline, Queen's Park, St Johnstone. Goalless between Ayr and Airdrie and Raith and Arbroath at the moment. League One, in 3 matches. Cove Rangers 0, Callidysel 0. Goalless Queen of the South Kelties, it is Stenhousemuir, East Kilbride. Nothing happening in the 2 matches in League Two that have survived the weather as yet, so still waiting for the first goal in the SPFL this afternoon. Celtic looking to get it here with Tenecti. Down the left-hand side of the United box, taking on Chevy, gets to the byline, pulls it back across and headed behind by Ferry for the corner. Celtic continuing to keep the pressure on United, who have been pinned back almost exclusively inside their own box in these opening 14.5 minutes. Short corner by Engels. To Hatate, to McGregor over on the left-hand side, into Arojo. Time to take a touch and shoot. It's blocked by Graham. Up into the air, the cushion header from McGregor finds Hatate. Now to Tierney at the edge of the box, flicks it with the left foot. Stevenson gets there to clear, but it's going to come right back at United. Tierney gets it from Engels at the left angle of the box. To Engels, who rolls it back side-footed to Scales. Scales just shuffles away from Sapsford. Square ball for Trusty, out to Arojo on this near side. Arojo rolls it back to Trusty and infield to Scales.
Yeah, it's amazing just where Scales is playing. He's playing almost like an inside left position, but he's got that pass wide or square maybe to his fellow centre half, compared to where he was way up in the left corner at times, especially when he had lots of possession like this.
There's Yang to Engels, right hand side of the box, across it comes the low ball. Maida can't get anything on it again, and it's cleared by Ferry, and out for a Celtic throw-in level with the United penalty spot on this near side. It is 0-0, and there's a short throw-in by Engels to Yang. Gets it back from Yang, gives it back to Yang, who crosses, and cleared by Chevy. Only as far as Tierney, up the edge of the box to McGregor on the left foot. Thought about the shot, instead he plays it to his left for Tenecti. Now it's Hatate, chip ball across, it clips the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick, and stays Celtic 0, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, they're total and controlled Celtic, lots of passing, lots of movement, lots of, especially down the left-hand side, again where they're getting good penetration there from midfielders and from Tenecti, who's comfortable on the ball, but they're just controlling the game, and Dundee United just can't get a hold of the ball.
He's got a quite remarkable record as Martin O'Neill as Celtic manager. If you accumulate all his games, this is his 291st all told, but he's got the best winning percentage of any Celtic manager. He's only lost 15 of his 195 Scottish top flight matches, which is quite remarkable, and he's only lost 5 home league games across his 5 seasons, plus the 3 he presided over during his interim spell. Very, very impressive numbers.
Yeah, good numbers. Obviously, when he was there initially, he had his own team, he had his own players, he brought them in, played a certain style, certain way there. This is a new group of players, but he's got a tune out of them. You've got to say, when he was in for that short period, and can he do the same again and get them back in to really be a threat for this league.
They're 6 points behind. United have a free kick inside the Celtic half. It's nearer the halfway line though, and it's taken by Ferry, and it drifts away from everyone and all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel, who pulls it out to Araujo on this near side. And Julian Araujo was once signed by Barcelona, a move that didn't work out, got his move to Bournemouth. Now he's up here on loan until the end of the season as Tierney picks up on the north stand side and field to Hatate, back to Tierney, rolls it central for McGregor, who squares it to his right for Araujo, forward to Maida, comes off Chevy, and that's going to go behind the corner on this near side. Maida was there and Chevy just had to anyway get rid of it.
Yeah,
best he could, and he did.
Yeah, it's difficult for any centre forward when you're up against three centre backs. Your touch has got to be spot on that time. Ball played into Maeda's feet, and he tried to take it on with him, and the defender just got a toe to it. Nearly went in the back of the net, but goes the other side of the post. Give Celtic that other corner from the opposite side this time.
Queen of the South have gone 1-0 up on Kelty Hearts in League One, so that is the first goal of the afternoon. It is the Doonhamers who've got it here in the Premiership. 18.5 on the clock, goalless. Engels with a corner, right-footed into the box, flicked away by Graham. Only as far as Hatate, squares it to McGregor, ushers it back out to Engels wide in the right level with the United 18-yard line, takes it for a run in field. Left-footed ball to Hatate. It's a lovely little chip ball, just a bit too high for Engels, and sails over the Belgian's head and behind for the goal kick to the visitors, and it will remain goalless.
Yeah, it was a good idea. It was again built up from this right-hand side. Good ball from Engels, a square pass across that 18-yard box, and then when the ball comes back into him, he makes his run, he continues into the box, and you're right, it was just those couple of inches too high for him, but Celtic are just slowly knocking on the door. There's been no real big chances yet, but they're controlling the game, they're working the ball, they're keeping control of it, and it's only a matter of time where they test the goalkeeper.
You would think so. The way things have been going for Celtic recently, they'll take nothing for granted on that count, as Engels finds McGregor, rolls it out to the left for Tierney. Space in for the Scotland international to operate between here as he gets across the halfway line and plays it to Hatate down the left, looking for Tanekti, covering player over on that far side stand. David Namo, it's a little bit onto it, but it breaks back to Tierney, and Maida clips the bar from 6 yards out. Yeah. Left foot effort, and it spins off the top of the bar and behind for what's actually going to be a corner. It's taking a touch somewhere. United are protesting about this decision.
Yeah, I don't know whether it came off the defender or maybe even the goalkeeper got a touch. If it was a touch from the goalkeeper, it was a brilliant save, because he's made that run across that near post, and it was a low ball driven across by Tierney, and he got a good contact on it. Just whatever deflection, just took it up and hit the crossbar.
Outswinging corner from Arne Engels on this near side in front of the United supporters. And it comes towards the back end. It's Scales who meets it with a head, and it goes straight at Richards, who holds on. He didn't really get the power in it that he would have needed to get it past the United goalkeeper, and it stays Celtic 0, United 0, almost on 21.
Yeah, he just couldn't. I think he was climbing above Chevet there, Scales, and he got a decent contact on it, but just probably couldn't direct it into the corner.
Dies in Maida's effort off the crossbar there, as close as we've come to seeing a goal here. United haven't threatened at all, despite having the two men up front there, Sturton and Sapsford, but they are lonely figures. In fact, they've had to come back into their own half to do defensive duties at times as well for a lot of this first half, and there's a big switch of play which has come off the toe of Namo and out for a Celtic throw-in over on that far side.
They had an opportunity there, Dundee United, just to get the organisation higher up the pitch, get bodies up, get them compact, and they go and try to hit a big diagonal ball. I know the space was there, but it's such a long ball that they weren't organised in any shape, and then they give the possession back to Celtic, and that was their opportunity to at least put something into an area where Celtic had to go and defend. 4-0,
Stranraer 1 in League 2, and that's the goals going in now. Here's Kerestes for United, just inside the centre circle, gets it through for Sapsford, out to the right hand side for Namo. It's a low ball back across towards Sapsford, cut out by Scales, and then Tierney clears. The header from Chebedo to his right for Stevenson. Infield to Kamara, who goes back to Graham inside his own half. Bit of respite here for the United defence. They're on the ball, they've seen very little of it, and there's a long one through for Sibbald, who's found himself in a pocket of space left-hand side of the Celtic box. Up against Arojo, gets it back to Ferry, who's got the quality, gets a cross chance in the back post. Namo gets it horribly wrong. Just comes off his knee, off his chest, and then bundles back to Schmeichel, who gets Celtic away quickly. That's an opportunity there for Namo. He's got to get better contact on the ball than he managed to do, and now Tenecti looking to make him suffer up the other end. Left-hand side of the box, across the face, nobody there. And that's where you want a number 9. That's where a number 9 might have been. Celtic, as it comes out for a throw-in on this near side, and stays 0-0 after 23 minutes.
That was a big chance, Liam, and he had a chance just before that also, when he got into a great position on the right-hand side, and he just, instead of going attacking the box, he goes and tries to play it into the box for, almost off a second touch. Wrong decision, and there again it was a wrong decision when the ball comes to him at the back post. He's got to take it full on his first touch and has a strike at the goalkeeper. As soon as he tries to control it, the ball bounces away up high, and you'd never get it under control and get it down in time to test Schmeichel.
We've got high hopes for Dario Namo, who's been in and out of the team, really. I remember him coming on a game at Ibrox across the city from here, and it's an excellent United performance in that second half. As Engels picks up on the near side, turns it into McGregor, back to Engels. Jim Goodwin as animated as ever down below us. As McGregor picks up and plays it to his left for Trusty.
Yeah, for all the possession and control Celtic have had, they haven't created a lot. Obviously Dundee United well organised, the 3 central defenders in there. They've got to move them out away from goal and create a bit of space.
Yang attacking the box on this right-hand side. Engels tries to give it back, cut out by Ferry, and United get it out of the way. As Trusty gets onto it in the centre circle and rolls it back to his goalkeeper. Schmeichel then rolls it out to the left for Scales, and then forward to Hatate. There's a real sense of relief from the Celtic supporters when Wilfred Nancy was sacked on Monday. As Arojo tries to find Maida, it's cut out by Carestes and out for a throw-in down by the corner flag on this near side. But they've got to get the results. It's all very well being content with O'Neill being back and Nancy being gone. And of course Paul Tisdale as well has departed. They've got to get the results to go along with the newfound optimism.
That's it, Liam. That's the key for all of this. If you look back at Nancy's term, he made loads of chances, but they didn't put the ball in the back of the net, and then they either lost the game or I think they did lose the games, and that put them under severe pressure.
Including United at Tannadice. Could have been 3-0 up at the break, lost 2-1. Here's Hatate, out to Engels at the right angle of the box, plays it to McGregor. United pinned back again here. Starter makes the challenge, but McGregor manages to clear it out to the left there for Scales, who finds Tierney, and out to Tenecti on the touchline. Back it comes to Liam Scales, who moves it into his right for Trusty. Now with Arojo. Low ball out to Yang on this near side.
Yeah, you just want Yang in the side to maybe go and try and take somebody on. It's easy keeping the ball. Obviously Dundee United is quite happy with that. The players in front of them.
Celtic have it with Tenecti out to the touchline for Tierney. Level with the edge of the D of the United box. Back it comes to Scales, infield to Hatate. Hatate spins, moves it to Arojo, right inside channel. It's up at the box, low into Engels, the dummy. Wasn't what he intended. I think he thought Maida was in behind him, but it does break to Tenecti, left-hand side of the box. Back to the edge of the area for Scales. Squares it to Yang, takes a touch, shoots and scores! That's another brilliant goal from Yang. Scored that fabulous goal in the derby a week ago. That one from outside the box with the right foot, arrowed low into the left-hand corner. And United's resistance has been broken on 26 minutes. It is Celtic 1, Dundee United 0, and the latest incarnation of O'Neill at Celtic Park is well and truly underway now.
Yeah, it was a really, really good strike, I've got to say. Good play. Again, that controlled fashion from Celtic, keeping the ball, passing it, and it was Scales this time, picking up over on the left-hand side. Sees Yang, who's drifted into that inside right position, edge of the box, and he picks him out brilliantly. Good touch, bang, and the goalkeeper had no chance. Will Ferry trying to get to him. He had a problem, Will Ferry, because again the right back, which we talked about, having right full-backs pushed up, that creates 2v1, so Will Ferry had to deal with both players, and he just couldn't get close enough to Yang when he controlled the ball, and Yang took his goal really, really well.
Here comes Celtic again, looking for a quick fire second. Tierney wide on the left-hand side. We'll roll it out to Tenecti. And the gloves on, the Tunisian against the Glasgow cold. It's a little back heel from Tenecti for Hatate at the byline. To Tierney, low across. Almost broke to Maida, who tried to tow it back to Engels. Not quite. And it's cleared by Kamara. Right to Schmeichel. Well, this is what the Celtic supporters are used to seeing over the last decade or more. Is when they get in front, they go full throttle and try and get that second goal and try and go about their business with that sort of purpose.
Yeah, they had to show patience, which they did. Took them what, we're almost 28 minutes in, so probably 26 minutes before they really made that opening, and that, so that patience has paid off for them, and they've got the goal. That'll settle them down. Dundee United now probably will need.
Great ball, McGregor. Maida's in. He doesn't catch any of it, and I think he was onside there, as that was clipped through to him expertly by Callum McGregor. Maida, any kind of contact back, he's probably making it 2-0.
Yeah, you're right. He just missed it completely, but it was a lovely little run, lovely dinky pass over the top of Graham, down the side of him, and it's just as is coming to him. He had to take it first time, but just didn't make the connection. And
mistake by Trusty. Sturton's in. He didn't have any real belief. It's blocked by a combination of Scales and Schmeichel in behind for the corner. But Austin Trusty absolutely sold his team there. They've just gone in front, and he just about coughed up an equaliser. And Owen Sturton had a bit more belief about him. It might well have been one apiece. What a chance for United.
Should have been one each. What a mistake from Trusty. He was so slack on the ball. Ball comes to him, he tries just a little square pass, and Stritton read it, got his foot to it, and then it just got it out of his feet, and Schmeichel and Scales sort of crowded him, but I think he should have lifted it over the goalkeeper.
He just didn't seem to have the confidence.
Big chance.
In his own ability there. In comes the United corner though, and Celtic get it half away. Headed back in by Stevenson, away by Arojo, goes down, and he was fouled, says Nick Walsh. And that's a free kick to Celtic inside their own penalty area. But it is a massive let-off for the champions, no question about that. And will United live to rue and regret not taking that chance when it was presented to them? It was an absolute gift.
Of course, and that's the luck, or you've got to be lucky or unlucky, depending. That's a big part of the game, and it's a huge chance, but you've got to have conviction when you're in that position. I know he's young, he's a young lad just coming into it. His eyes must have opened up when he got that opportunity. It was almost on the right side, and he had time to maybe even knock it in front of himself and probably then make his decision.
It's a real lesson for him as Carestes fouls the goal scorer Yang on this near side. He's got to learn from that, Packy. When he gets into that position, he's 6 yards from goal. Goal's in front of him. Schmeichel's panicking. You could see he was panicking there. Scales has managed to get a little block on it, but the effort in the end was really timid, kind of sclaffed at it.
Yeah, I think it was even further out, Liam, 6 yards. Probably then the distance between him and Schmeichel would have been closer, but I think he was probably out more, about 10 or 12 yards out, and he had time and space to get out of his feet and finish, and he didn't do it.
Here United have gone 1-0 up against Arbroath in the Championship at Somerset, as Arojo picks up level with the edge of the D of the United box on the near side, where he rolls it back infield to Austin Trusty. Finds Hatate, forward to Engels, turns it to his left there for Tierney, attacking the box, he's into it now, low ball, Engels, 3-0! And there you go. You don't take your chances. You can pay a heavy price here, and United have paid the heaviest of prices as Arne Engels tucks it home and tucks the champions into a 2-goal lead. Nothing at all that Dave Richards could do about that one. And in the space of a few minutes, it's Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, I did say to early on that there's so much control of the game, and that and it's very, very difficult to keep Celtic out if you give up so much territory, and they just move the ball, the movement off the ball then, and the run from Ingles into the box, nobody tracking him, nobody picking him up, and all he do is just keep his concentration, open up his foot and just hit the target. And you're right, Dave Richards, no chance, puts Celtic in that commanding position, and it's a perfect start for Martin O'Neill coming back, you've got to say. Goals make the difference. That's the critical factor.
Well, the Celtic fans singing their manager's name and some. He's back till the end of the season now. There were many, not even speaking with hindsight, who felt he should have just been here from after Brendan Rodgers left and stayed for the duration of the season. Who knows, they might have had a League Cup in the trophy room again if that happened, and perhaps not sitting 6 points in arrears at the top of the table, though this would take them back to within 3, and it's a heck of a long way back for Dundee United now, and this long wait for a victory here, which has gone on since December 1992.
Yeah, I'm just
going to continue by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at build up again from Celtic. So comfortable with a back four, because you've seen Scales getting out on the left hand side, and he has a pass on to a fullback. When you're playing with a wing back, you know, they're almost high up the pitch, and you don't have, and then you hesitate. And that's what Scales has done really well when he's at Celtic. Just get out of his feet on a second touch, hit that pass to a fullback or somebody who can then progress up the pitch. But you need to have that opportunity to do that.
Stranraer's lead didn't last long for back in level terms in League Two, one apiece at Station Park. As Arojo collects out to this near side for Yang on the touchline. And infield to Arojo, midway inside the United half for the second goal scorer, Engels. For Jim Goodwin, my goodness, what an opportunity they had to make it one apiece. Suddenly it's 2-0. As Tierney collects left of the D. Out to the left-hand side of the United box to Nekti, rolls it to Tierney, who shoots, it's blocked. They're claiming handball, play on for now. Kerestes gets his head to it, he was fouled. Free kick United inside the box. But the VAR, who is Andrew Dallas, will be combing over the replays of that handball appeal.
Yeah, the fans will appeal for everything, don't they? It's the key
no
man.
Penalty, by the way, no penalty.
No. It's the key man as a referee. He's in a good position. None of the players reacted to it from a Celtic perspective, just the fans around the stadium. So, no.
It's good build-up play again, though, isn't it, from the home team? As Richards takes the free kick from just outside his box, launches it right down the middle of the pitch, headed away by Arojo. Kerestes picks up and finds Ferry. He's been caught really late by Julian Arojo, and the ref goes to his pocket. And it is a yellow card for the Mexico international. And they're just checking to see if this could be upgraded to a yellow, red here from the yellow. It's a really poor challenge, and I think you could see here the Celtic supporters in the background, the big intake of breath after that tackle was made.
Yeah, once you go to ground, once you slide in, go to ground, you don't make contact with the ball, and you catch the player, then you're in trouble. Defin Buchan, he's down, he's waiting to see if he can get treatment. I'm surprised the referee doesn't allow the physios on. He obviously thinks that it's not
yellow stands, Paddy.
Yeah, that it's not that dangerous. Normally, if somebody gets a free kick and a yellow card, he's also going to take the free kick, Will Ferry. So maybe it wasn't as dangerous as we think.
He's taken it, switches it there. The header from Graham into the box is helped on its way. Left-hand side of the area for Sapsford. Takes it to the byline, gets the cross in. Schmeichel holds on underneath his crossbar, and it stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0 on 36 minutes. He's now with Tierney, driving up to the halfway line, checks his run, turns back away, and then turns back round to face the United goal, and field low ball to Rio Hatate, moves it to Arojo, and out to this touchline for Yang. Yang then plays it off. Ferry's still struggling there despite the fact he took the free kick. He's limping pretty heavily. Vichko Chevy incidentally looked like he was coming off in the opening few minutes of the match. He's looking all right.
He stayed on. That just shows your players, sometimes they're a bit, physios. Everybody is too quick to make decisions on players now. And let's see, in the old days, you wouldn't come off, because even if you had and really old days, a broken bone or something like that, they try to stay on. I know the game has changed and that's unfair on players, but you have to give them a chance.
League One, Stennismuir 1 East 5-0. As Tenecti picks up left hand side of the box. Back to Tierney, gets his ball clipped in, headed away by Kamara. Sapsford tries to get there, McGregor gets enough onto it. It's Trusty who's squared it to Arojo. Ball into the box is cleared by Ross Graham. A long ball clear, Trusty facing his own goal, rolls it back to his goalkeeper. I mean, we say it so regularly here. When a team goes 2-0 down, they're already looking at damage limitation. As depressing as that is for the Dundee United supporters to have to listen to, particularly when they're on a run of just 2 wins in 12. One of those wins was against Celtic, the other at Livingston. And they're already in a bad place here. And here comes Tenecti. Brilliant turn of pace, left hand side, pulls it across, blocked by Chevy, and behind for a corner. United looking like a beaten side here. Quick corner, Tenecti to Engels, gets the cross ball in, it's headed away by Graham, and behind for the, I thought it was a corner. The linesman was going to give that, but it's going to go as a United free kick. The Scales attack that 6 yards from goal, and it stays 2-0 to the hosts.
Yeah, it just shows your confidence has grown in the Celtic team. 2-0 up now. You've got Scales bombing from his left centre back position to the back post on the right hand side to try to get on the end of a cross. They're in so much control of the game. The ball possession stats must be really, really high, and then of course getting the 2 goals are in a really good commanding position. Jim Goodwin will have to come up with something, because if this continues and Celtic get a 3rd goal, then it could be anything.
Satati for Celtic, wide on the left, chips the ball down the line there, looking for Tenecti, can't control it, out for a throw-in to Dundee United over on that far side. Those 2 goals here then, the only ones scored in the Premiership so far this afternoon. With 2 games to come tomorrow, 2 o'clock start at Dens Park, Dundee against the league leaders Hearts, and Aberdeen Rangers 4:30 at Pittodries. Those 2 meet again for the 2nd time in 5 days. Chevy for United, forward down that right hand side. Tierney's strong, too strong for the referee's liking, and Martin O'Neill wasn't happy with that decision, which has gone against his team. It's a United free kick over on the right.
Yeah, this time they've a chance to put the ball into the box, and it's I think it's a little bit further back than when the ball's positioned now. But again, Will Ferry coming over here onto the right hand side with that left foot. He's going to almost bend it in, and Sully holding a high line round the arc.
It will be a United free kick then, level with the edge of the centre circle, which is clipped into the box. Not the worst delivery by Will Ferry, but it's beaten everyone and goes behind for the goal kick. And Kasper Schmeichel takes it quickly, smashes it up the pitch. Tenecti will chase here. United in trouble. It's a good recovery challenge there by Lucas Stevenson. It was Dario Namo who was able to get onto that and get it clear. And mentioned earlier there,
I was worried for him.
about him.
I was worried
he dealt
for
with it well, didn't he?
He did, but I was worried once he let the ball bounce. I thought he was just going to get his head to and then direct it away. Once you let it bounce, you're under severe pressure, but he managed to defend it quite well.
Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. The final 5 minutes of the opening 45 at Celtic Park. Relatively benign day. It is cold. The flags, though, barely fluttering above the north stand on the far side. Cloudy skies above as dusk begins to fall.
Yeah, I just think that maybe Jim might have to go to a back 4 here and try to get an extra player in the middle of the pitch. He's playing obviously with the five across the back, and then playing with the 2 up front, and they're kind of a little bit stretched across the midfield.
Well, the Celtic fans, I think, a little bit annoyed that Maida was being told to move away from the goalkeeper. Anyway, United have it at the far side. Chevy is caught by Maida. Free kick United, similar position to which Ferry just took one and launched it into the Celtic box. Can the visitors get something back before the break?
Yeah, critical time for both clubs, or both teams, to say, from a point of view of you want to go on, Celtic want to go on 2-0 up, sets them up. Dundee United need to try to get back into it, but they can't afford to lose a third also. So those minutes, I always find before half time, just after time, is crucial for teams.
Graham picks up and puts it down the grass on that right hand side for Zach Sapsford, who's on it now, driving forward up to the edge of the area. Chance here on the turn, Sturton, and he reverses it with the right foot. Wide though of that left hand side. It's a good opportunity for Owen Sturton. He kind of fashioned it himself there, facing away from goal. He spun, he shot, but he shoots wide. It's another chance for the big man up front for United. It stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0 with 42 and a half on the clock.
I'll tell you what, he was unlucky. It was good play. There was a nice pass, penetrating pass in midfield, and then he broke up the right hand side. When the ball's played into him, he's kind of got his back to goal. He could have picked out a simple pass wide, but he actually swivels on the ball, does really well, opens up the space, and then he almost needed to have a little glance to see where Schmeichel was, and he knocks it by the sort of right hand post. But a big opportunity for him. Good play initially, just didn't hit the target.
McGregor for Arojo, down the right hand touchline. Yang, he's got Engels in space infield. It's now Engels, first time ball, low across, cut out by Ross Graham about 7 or 8 yards from his own goal. And it breaks out to McGregor on this near side, who finds Trusty. Forward to Hatate, out to Yang on this near side. And then back to Hatate and back to Yang again. I'll do Yang's confidence in the world. The good scored a fabulous goal against Rangers here last week. It's another excellent finish for him here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he's enjoying his time under Martin O'Neill.
Hatate forward to Maida with his back to goal at the edge of the box. Couldn't find Yang and cleared by Ferry into the Celtic half, where Trusty picks it up in the centre circle and rolls it low out to Arojo on this near side. The fans, there wasn't too much frustration in the stands as they struggled to break United down, but
no, they were in control of the game.
Yeah.
I think that was the key for them.
They might get another before the break here. Engels picks up the edge of the box, blocked by Graham. Cushion header by Arojo is going to be cut out by Sapsford. Sibbald goes down, no free kick. Scales on the turn, rolls it to Tierney to his left. Tierney now driving at the box. Out to Tenekte on the far side, level with the United penalty spot. But in the final minute of the opening 45, plus whatever's going to get added on, there have been a couple of injury concerns, so we'll wait and see. As Yang picks up, drives towards the byline, brilliant play, back it comes and cleared by Stevenson, out for a throw-in on the near side down by the corner flag. May well have gone for the corner actually. Engels makes his way out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. You know, Yang getting the ball wide and then taking the man on in a 1v1 situation, having the ability to go past him. Fans love that, but it also then creates a real problem for defenders, because somebody has to almost go to the ball, and when he cuts it back, then you're hoping to get somebody on the end of it.
We're into the single solitary minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Engels flights a really deep corner in the box. Hatate hits it in the volley down into the ground and off Ross Graham, and behind for another Celtic corner over on that far side. Livingston have scored late in the first half against Kilmarnock at Almonvale. So Livy 1, Kilmarnock 0. Approaching the interval there, as it is here. Celtic might get one last opportunity to score a third before that half-time whistle and absolutely finish this game as a contest. Very congested 6-yard box here, waiting in anticipation of this Arne Engels corner. In-swinger with the right boot from the Celtic left. Engels with the arm in the air, now he prepares to deliver, bends it into the near post, blocked there by Richards, and he had to do that as well. That was coming in with pace and power from Engels. He picks up on the far side the loose ball, bends across in, the header's wide. Well, I think it was Scales who got on to the end of that. It's gone wide, and that is half-time. Celtic come close to scoring a third before the break, but Martin O'Neill's latest return to Celtic Park has been extremely positive for the champions as they try and eat into Hearts' lead at the top of the Premiership. They have a 2-goal cushion at the interval against United here. Yang Yun-jun with the goal on 27, opening the scoring, breaking the deadlock. United had provided stuffy resistance up to that point. There's a fine finish from the edge of the area with the right foot into the bottom left corner. to give Celtic the lead. A lead they would double 5 minutes later. Arne Engels from close range. United have had two glaring opportunities, perhaps the first one most notably from Owen Sturton, who found himself in on a trusty mistake. He didn't really have the belief to finish, and there was a block by Scales as Celtic survived. It went behind for the corner, which United could do nothing from. Sturton fashioned a chance for himself in 43 with a shot on the turn, which he dragged just about a foot past the left-hand post. So that means at half-time here in Glasgow, it is Celtic 2, Dundee United 0.
So disappointed in Dundee United. They haven't had anything about them at all.
Just the approach, Tom.
The approach right from the start.
Paisley, St Mirren 0, Falkirk 0.
The only start they got a chance or two, but only when they were 1 and 2-0 down. But from the start, it was like the white flag was up.
Yeah, you have to say it is disappointing. I said this a few times in the programme. I think they're a very hard side to predict. Dundee United. Watched the game. Was it just during the festive period? They battered Livingston. They were great that day. But, you know, last week Ian was saying that in the derby match, second best, and just really poor today. I think you're still playing through the Easter Road, Michael?
Yeah, it's the last couple of seconds before half-time. Motherwell are up and around the edge of Hibs' box, but the game's just a little bit static at the moment. Hibs camped in, and Motherwell just trying to unlock the defence in the last moments of the half here.
Yeah, we'll just wait for the half-time whistle to go there. Then we'll get around the grounds for you. We're on telly earlier today, BBC One Scotland, 4 o'clock.
That's half-time, Kenny, 0-0.
Thanks, Michael. Right through until 5:10. Of course, the conversation continues right here on BBC Radio Scotland from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Fans of various clubs will join this reaction from them, the pundits, and we'll hear from plenty managers as well. You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Sports Sound.
That is a beautiful finish!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Right, let's take you on a journey around the grounds and get the half-time reports. Let's start with our commentary match at Celtic Park. Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Pat Bonner is there for us alongside Ian McCall. Just like he was in his second time round, I say, a few weeks ago, Pat, when he was there. He's just doing the right. It seems obvious, doesn't it? But he's just doing the right thing. He's playing players where they feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's an amazing. It's not science. That, you know, it's just really about just being practical and being almost clever. Because every single time when they get forward in the wide areas now, they've got almost like a 2v1 situation, and that's where all the damage has been done. They're keeping control of the ball, they're able to move it, but then when they get into those positions, especially down the left hand side early on, they were able to penetrate, and then those create half chances and so on, and Dundee United just couldn't get up the pitch. And in saying that, Dundee United then had a huge chance when Trusty played a square ball, give the ball away, and really the young lad Stritton, who's just come into the team, he's got to probably do a bit better. Ball got stuck under his foot, and he was closed down, and then he had another great chance later on, and that goal could have maybe brought Dundee United back into it, but it would be a travesty really, because Celtic have dominated the game, and they've just, I don't know what the possession stats is, I haven't seen them yet, but they've got the goals, which is a critical factor, and that's what was missing, Kenny, from the games under Wilfred Nancy. And you know, if those goals had to go on, I don't know whether there's a calmness about them today more. They're keeping the ball, passing it well. Under Nancy, it was almost frenetic. It was just creating chance, and missing them, and it was getting worse and worse as the game was going on. But today, much more control, and now they've got a 2-goal lead, so they're in a really, really good position to win this game. Dundee now will have to do something. Jim will have to do something at half-time. I think he has to change maybe back to back four and try to maybe get a wee bit stronger in the middle of the pitch, because they're just being dominated at the moment.
Yeah, Pat, it's an interesting one. You're obviously in commentary due to Ian's been on open mics for us. We'll get to Ian in just a minute from a Dundee United perspective, but Ian was saying he can't understand when he watches that first half there, and particularly one vital block that Liam Scales had there. He said he can't believe that this guy's been out the side.
Yes, listen, but the position he's playing today is where he's comfortable, left centre back. You know, he'll defend from that point of view, of course, but he's now the play is in front of him. He's able to get the ball. He's able to hit that nice little side pass off his second touch to either Tenecti or to Tierney, who's on his left-hand side. So he's very, very comfortable in the position. Even when he's high up the pitch, he's playing almost at an inside left position. And he knows that he can recover from there. When he was under Trusty, Nancy. Sorry, my fault. He was almost playing as a winger at times, and he had probably maybe a 30-40 yard sort of run to get back into position, and it just didn't suit him whatsoever. So he is one of many. Tierney also playing left back suits him rather than coming from a left centre back. For me, he's far better, at his age now, and maybe he's able to do maybe 20-30 yard runs rather than doing 40 yard runs, and all that changes. Yang's over on the right hand side. The only one through the middle is Maeda, but he doesn't have to do much today, just make his little runs, and he doesn't have to hold the ball up too much, because Celtic are just dominating the ball and they're working it from side to side. He had that chance that he ran across the near post and they clipped it off the crossbar, so he's comfortable enough today, but he's not. That's the position we talked about before the game and after the game. The rest of it isn't too bad. I'll tell you, at this moment in time, Aurora is coming into the team, looks quite dynamic player, and so on. He hasn't been tested defensively too much, but looks a player that could fit into a Celtic team.
And Pat, Ian McCall constantly reminds me that I never played, so I should basically pipe down. But I'm going to offer a very dangerous opinion here, Pat. I'll see if you agree with me. That none of what Martin O'Neill has done today is rocket science. He hasn't reinvented the wheel here. This is the changes he's made are pretty basic, and everyone could see them, even me.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about when Wilfred Nancy was in position. Why on earth do you come in and change it? Just let it go. Make the little alterations to the way that maybe you want to play the game, but let it flow from playing a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1, whatever way you want to do it, but keep that back four intact. And then even Schmeichel looks much more comfortable today, especially with the ball with his feet.
Everybody looks happy.
I think as well, Ian touched on it earlier. I think, under Wilfred Nancy, Celtic had this period of pressure and possession at times in games, but such was the setup, or lack of setup behind the ball, that they always gave up counter-attacking scenarios. We actually look at it now, and you've got Callum McGregor predominantly sitting, you've got the two centre-halves, you've got Araujo tucking in when the ball's on the left-hand side. The setup behind the ball is limiting Dundee United to get themselves up the pitch.
Well, Andy, when you have two centre-halves, when the play's in front of them, they're in the position they can recover. When they're making runs, remember the goal against Aberdeen?
Yep.
When the run the Scales made, when they thought they were going to win the ball in the middle of the pitch, he stepped out from a defensive position to run beyond the ball. Not with the ball, beyond the ball.
And I agree with Tom. I think outside Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's obviously injured at the minute, I think Liam Scales is Celtic's best centre-half. I think he's their best box defender. First contacts with balls coming into the box, blocks, clearances, tackles. I found myself really surprised that he found his way out the team, probably because he had chalk in his boots and he was playing left wing for.
Andy, I'm glad you said it, because I've been saying this for a long, long time. I know the fans at times give him a little bit of stick, maybe because when he's on the ball and he has to drive into midfield and he hasn't got that maybe pass and the ball's then cut out and he's out of his position. But when he gets the ball out of his feet and just passes the ball simple, to a fullback or to a winger off a second touch, and then he does his defensive bit, which he's good at, and he's better in the air now than he was when he got into the team first. So yeah, I agree with you. So I'm glad you agree with me, Andy, and I agree with you.
It's almost, the whole Nancy thing is almost like a dream or a nightmare.
Yeah, Tom,
that this happened,
Yeah, what I was meaning, was I think he looks better suited to play in the Wilfred Nancy system in the middle of the back three. I just think he looks like a better communicator and a better defender than Trusty.
What about in and out of the team? My issue, Ian, on that is in the middle of the back three, he hasn't got a range of enough passes, if you know what I mean.
I know, but listen, if you're Celtic, well, I don't need to tell you, but there's a few players in front of you. If you just bang into them, they can play it all right.
Ian, we're about to split. We're about to go on to television shortly, but from a United perspective, Tom was saying in the studio here, very disappointed with their approach to this game today.
Yeah, as am I, I've got to say. And I mean, you sometimes go to Celtic Park or you go to Ibrox when they're flying, and this season maybe Motherwell and maybe Tynecastle, but you always have to have a threat, I think, to get out. I mean, I also went 4-3-3. They became 4-5-1 at times, and that's fine. But literally, I was sitting beside Kerridine, and every single Dundee United player, this is an open play, and I'm not exaggerating, it was 20 yards from their own goal, just trying to shuttle about, and it looked like a matter of time. Celtic were moving them from side to side, trying to get decent balls in the box. Once they get their goal, I don't know what they're going to do now. I know Fata looks like he's coming on, but how are they going to change this to risk, to be really, really positive and risk getting an absolute doing, or do you just play the same way? But you can sit in, but you must have a threat, you must have an out to get yourself up the pitch, because you can't just keep inviting pressure for 45 minutes, for 90 minutes. You won't get through it here.
Right, let's find out how they do in the second half. Once again, a choice of listening on Sports, and for open all mic, stick with us on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and for full commentary of Celtic against Dundee United, tune to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave and extra on BBC Sounds, and both are live online, bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
On your radio,
Online at BBC Sport Scotland
your smart speaker.
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Celtic Park here for BBC Radio Scotland listeners on digital, on extra and 810 medium wave, and at the website bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland. The second half of Celtic Dundee United coming up, and I will keep you up to date with the scores elsewhere in the country in the matches that have survived the weather. Liam McLeod with Paddy Bonar with you. Still waiting, perhaps just another couple of minutes away before we see the players come back out. I think United, who are 2-0 down in this game, are going to bring Amar Fata, the Swede, who's on loan from Troyes in the second tier in France. He's going to come on, he's a striker. So we'll wait and see what Jim Goodwin does there. There's not really much for the United fans to cling on to, really, from that first half performance to suggest that they're going to get anything out of this game, and already they might have to start turning their attentions to that Scottish Cup tie against Ayr United, which is to come on Saturday at Tannadice next week. Celtic back in action on Wednesday with a trip to Falkirk. At the same time, Hearts host St Mirren. So all that to come on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Dundee Hearts and Aberdeen Rangers. With the scores, if you missed them earlier across the country, Celtic 2, Dundee United 0 here. Yang with the opener, and that second from Engels. Hibs 0, Motherwell 0, Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0. A late stoppage time first half goal from Conor McLennan. It could be a huge goal as well. Livy 1, Kilmarnock 0, as he looked to get it to within a point of the Ayrshire side. And I heard Neil McCann talking about it's the same 3 points, and of course it's the same 3 points as you get for a victory against anyone else. But wafer thin 1 point. First half goal, making it 2-0 to the lefties. In League One, Cove Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 0, Queen of the South 0, Kelty Hearts 1, and Stennismere 2, East Fife 0. And in League 2, the matches that survived that, 2 of the 5, Edinburgh City 1, Stirling Albion 0, and Forfar Athletic 1, Stranraer 1. And you can keep up to date with the scorelines at any time at the website bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland. Kamara off, Fata on for Dundee United. Vitko Chevy was injured early in the first half, has made his way back out for the second, and what appears to be a thankless task for Dundee United. We'll see how they adapt to where they find themselves in this football match early on in this second half. They're in the tangerine shirts, black shorts, tangerine socks with the black tops, going from left to right towards the Lisbon line stand in this second half. Celtic in the green and white hoops will shoot towards the Jock Stein stand, and I think everyone round about here is feeling a whole lot better about themselves, Pat.
Very much so. Hope they're enjoying their pie at half-time and their bovril. Is bovril, do you get bovril now?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I'm looking at Dundee United, and Pat will go out on the left-hand side, so he's kind of almost gone. I was surprised maybe that I'll tell you what they've done. They've put Sevilla into the middle of the pitch, and they've gone to a back four. I'll just wait until.
United kick off the second half, and Paddy can keep an eye on that. It's rolled all the way back there to Dave Richards, the goalkeeper, as United get the second half underway. Long ball from him out to this near side, sails over the head of Sapsford and out for a Celtic throw-in, which Tierney takes and gets it back to Scales. He'll move it back to Kasper Schmeichel, starting chasing him down. It's out to Trusty, he knocks it forward there to Engels, who goes back to Schmeichel. He'll dink it with the right foot out to Tierney on this left-hand side.
Yeah, that's what they've done. They've gone to a back four, Dundee United, and Sevilla's gone into the middle as a holding midfield player. So they're going 4-3-3, trying to kind of almost match up with Celtic, and a bit like what they did in the second half up at Tannadice, and put a little bit more pressure on Celtic's defenders, albeit that they were playing with a back three at that particular time. Obviously they're playing with a back four now, so they have a little bit more space in the wide areas, Celtic, to build the game.
Yeah, Celtic with Schmeichel in goal. It is Arojo who was booked in that first half. Trusty, Scales and Tierney, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Yang, Tenekti, Maida. United with Richards in goal. That flat back four now, as Pat was saying. And Sibbald is robbed by McGregor. It will be Namo on the right, and Graham and Kerestes in the middle, and Ferry over on the left hand side. Chevy sitting in that midfield with Stevenson and Craig Sibbald, and obviously Sapsford and starting supported now by Amar Fatah over on that left hand side.
Yeah, and again I'm looking at Dundee United, and it depends how far the back four wants to drop off, and if they drop off too far, it creates the space for Celtic to play, and just they've got to be a little bit brave and come. I know there's that pace of Maeda over the ball over the top, but they've just got to make the distances better in between the lines so Celtic don't exploit.
Poor ball by Ferry out of defence. Celtic have it back. Arojo getting it from Hatate, right hand side of the box. Low ball across is half away by Graham. Tenekti's going to get onto it though. Level the 6 yard line of United's good play. Bursts into the box, lays it back here. Hatate over the bar. Left footed effort opened up beautifully for Celtic, and it was all down to the tenacity of Sebastian Tenekti on this left hand side. It stays Celtic 2, United 0. 2.5 into the second half. Yeah,
it was a perfect opportunity for Hatate, and I don't know whether he tried to place it. I thought he just put his laces through it when it comes onto him, and he just got under the ball and lifted it about a foot over the crossbar. When a great work from Tenekti out in this left hand side, beating two players and just laying in on a path for him just to come onto and strike.
And the United ended that 11-year wait for a win over Celtic when they got the better of them last month, when it's been a horrible fixture for them since the previous win at Tannadice in December 2014. Before today, played 24, won 1, drawn 5, lost 18. The goal aggregate over those matches before today, and Celtic have added 2 since, is scored 9, conceded 64. Now 2 more to that now. Another half a match played. Just over that now, it's Callum McGregor on the ball for Celtic under the floodlights here, and McGregor claims he was fouled by Sibbald. The referee in a good position agrees.
Yeah, that's Sibbald's job though. You know, he's gone in now and on top of McGregor to deal with him and not let him dictate the game, and he just followed him there and just eventually just fouled him. But as probably from Dundee United's perspective, it's a good foul because it just settles the game down.
Difficult to know what Jim Goodwin's plan was in that first half. We remember, Packy, that infamous game when he was Aberdeen manager at Pittodrie, when Celtic had about 85 to 90% possession, and it took a very late Callum McGregor goal to.
I think he's learned from that.
Yeah,
you know, and ultimately I know he was hanging in there trying to get the result and that, but now he's 2-0 down. But I think he's learned that you can't for 90 minutes sit back on the edge of your box and think that Celtic, you could have a brilliant day and it works, but in normal circumstances,
well, he almost got away with it that day, didn't he?
He nearly did, yeah. but that was the downfall of it, and the Aberdeen fans just were not happy with that approach.
Hatate finds McGregor, left-footed, out to the right-hand side for Yang, down the line for Arojo, level with the edge of the D of the United box.
That's
Back
what I
to
mean.
Yang, and infield to McGregor.
Now Dundee United should be pushing up there, Liam, you know, putting a bit more pressure on. They're sitting still, and the ball's just on the arc, and they're still around the edge of their box. Too deep for me.
Tierney has it on the touchline, infield to Scales, and back into the centre circle for Trusty. Forward to Hatate, finds Engels, and then back to Trusty. Trusty's low ball for Hatate. Forward it comes to Maida. Was he pushed to the ground? Yes, he was, by Ross Graham. Free kick Celtic, midway inside the United half. Martin O'Neill returning to his seat in the dugout, albeit just to pick up his water bottle. He's quite happy to stand on the edge of his technical area alongside Sean Maloney there. And matches against, or important games against Dundee United, have been woven through the O'Neill story at Celtic. His first match in charge of the club was a 2-1 win at Tannadice. There was also Henrik Larsson's final game as a Celtic player, final league game here at Celtic Park, which was also against Dundee United. Celtic won that one, and then the Scottish Cup final in 2005, which was the final match of his 5-year stint here. And Celtic won that narrowly. As Tierney finds Scales on the halfway line, left foot ball left to right of the centre circle for Trusty. He'll find Arojo to his right. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty long second half for Dundee United, unless they can get the next goal. But you have to get up the pitch to do that.
Absolutely. Again, that ball's played backwards, back to Trusty, and they haven't moved. They haven't moved up with the ball. You know, you've got to push up quickly and then take your line and defend.
Arojo knocking it forward, right hand side of the box for Maida, facing away from goal, rolls it back down the line for McGregor, and infield to Engels. Engels side foot to Hatate, first time ball back to Scales, left footed out to the left hand touchline for Tenekti, taking on Namo. Down to the byline goes Tenekti, fires it across, and the little touch from Hatate is blocked at the near post, and United get it away.
What I'm happy with when I look at Tenekti, he's obviously been away, but you know, before he went away, I thought he lost his confidence, and he was almost not doing what he did when he came into the club first, going to the byline, mixing it up. Today it seems to have got his confidence back a little, been able to do that, and he's creating opportunities because of it.
Wraith Rovers have got one back against Arbroath, 2-1 now. The Lifties lead as Hatate is nicked off by Sapsford. Sapsford's on it on this near side. It was Scott Brown who scored the goal for Wraith Rovers, the midfielder. And Chevy gets a free kick for a foul by Maida midway inside his own half, right to centre. Bit of a flatness about the game just now. Celtic are so comfortable.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Liam. You took the words out of my mouth. The game's gone a little bit flat. The crowd's gone a little bit flat-wooted. They're waiting for Celtic to maybe go and create something again as a home crowd, and then Dundee United, they've got that apprehension still. Could Dundee United come back in? They're making little mistakes now, and this is Fata on the ball.
That's right, Fata's on it, tries to slip it through to Sturton, but couldn't find him. Scales is there, and he gives it back to Schreichel, who rolls it to his right for Liam Scales, who was jettisoned from the team for the derby last Saturday. He's come back into that back four. As Trusty picks up on this left-hand side now. Scales have swapped momentarily.
Yeah, but there's no pressure on, you know, again, they're able to build up so easily, Celtic, from the goalkeeper right up the length of the pitch.
There's Yang, early ball. Maida doesn't get a good touch on it, and right through to Richards. The Maida of last season's probably scoring there. It stays Celtic 2, Dundee United 0 on 53.5.
Yeah, far too easy for Celtic to go from the goalkeeper, 3-4 passes, and they're almost up the other end, nearly scoring a goal. And Dundee United, just not enough pressure on the ball. Everybody's got to be sharper, get to him, and force them into mistakes, or at least make it difficult for them to pass through you.
There's more goals to be had for Celtic this afternoon if they want them, and they could be doing with them as well. Their goal difference currently at plus 15, Hearts and plus 22, albeit this will be a game more played for Celtic, as Maswanisi gives Motherwell the lead at Easter Road against Hibs. Wonderful season Motherwell are having.
Wow, that's a
Maswanisi personally is having a wonderful season. Hibs 0, Motherwell 1.
Big result that if Motherwell to pull it off, it just keeps the momentum going, doesn't it?
I mean, that moves them on to the 39-point mark after this is their 22nd game. That's a brilliant points return for Motherwell. With you feel there is a lot more till they get to their ceiling, as the long ball for Celtic's headed behind for the corner by Carestes on that right-hand side of the box. The Celtic attacked.
But even if you look at that pass comes from a 8 yards inside the Dundee United half, and the goalkeeper probably should be out pushing that back four up and him dictating that space behind, and I think that's a ball that he should be picking up. Is obviously the defender's headed from about 7 yards from the byline to give away the corner,
which will be taken over on the right for Celtic by Engels, out swinger, and it comes flicked half away by United. It's going to break to Fata at the edge of the box. Lovely little drop of the shoulders, he let it drift across his body there, but Celtic surround him, and Yang nicks it back, and Scales turns about the trusty and the Celtic supporters showing their appreciation of the desire from Yang to get back and win it back for his team. It stays 2-0 to the hosts.
Yeah, it's amazing that, isn't it? You have a winger there, and of course you want a winger to be on the ball creating things, but that little bit of work to go and win the ball back, and he does it expertly, and the fans really appreciate that.
3-0 now to Stenhousemuir in League One against East Fife. Remember, the score lines are available at any time at the website. Celtic come forward with Scales, driving up to the edge of the box where he's eventually blocked out. Hatate out to the left for Tenecti, into the area to the byline, fires it across and just wide. Not sure if Maida got a touch or not, but it's popped out to Will Ferry on the left, who smashes it clear, and it really does look like a matter of time before Celtic add to their already comfortable enough lead here. They are 2-0 up and absolutely cruising through this.
Yeah,
United heads are just not in this game at all.
Not in the game. They haven't even gone to that back four. They're not working strong as a team, and making it difficult for Celtic, and Celtic just controlling the game. But that last chance again, the provider Tenecti down this left-hand side, and I think just the defender got a little nick on it before the ball was coming to Maeda, who was in a perfect position just to tap it in, and it just lifted it away from him. Give credit to the defender.
Stranraer back in front against Forfar, 2-1 to the Blues. And Falkirk have gone 1-0 up at St Mirren in the Premiership. So the goals have gone in all the Premiership matches being played this afternoon, and this fabulous season that Falkirk are enjoying is continuing as well. They're very much in the top six, but you've got Aberdeen and Dundee United sitting in the bottom half of the table, and it's just not been good enough for either of those clubs. Maswanisi, incidentally, that's his 13th goal of the season for Motherwell. Scored that fabulous one against South Africa for Zimbabwe at AFCON at the end of the year as well. As United come forward, it's a long hopeful ball up the right, but it's worked out well for Namo. He's up to the edge of the area looking for Saps, but Scales is there. Scales does well, the edge of his own box to dig his team out of trouble. They're caught a little bit short of the bat there, a bit flat-footed, but they come away with it with Tenecti down this left-hand side.
Yeah, that was a great ball from Fata, from left to right into the space, but again, that man Scales, we talked about at half-time, really good defending from him to get back and clear the danger.
Celtic have it with Yang wide on the right, attacking the United box. Looks to work the 1-2 with Hatate. He's just blocked off slightly there was Yang, but he's run his team in the corners. Carestes puts it behind. Celtic 2, United 0, 58.5 on the clock. I think Martin O'Neill's going to be making changes any time now.
Yeah, and I think there's going to come changes from Dundee United. They have to make some sort of change. It's like as if they don't believe today coming down here that they can get something out of this game. Maybe the change of management has kind of psyched them out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I saw them at Ibrox in the game against Rangers, and whilst Rangers were very good in the first half, United were excellent in the second. As the corner comes in, headed away by Ross Graham, breaks to Arojo, one of the men who scored at Ibrox, coming on in Trapanovski. A big switch for Celtic, and Engels keep it in play, not quite, bounces off him and behind for the goal kick, and United will make the change. As I mentioned, Trapanovski, Strain is also going to come on. Sturton will come off. There's 2 opportunities in the first half, in particular his first one. Second one is unlucky. He's a great turn and spin in the edge of the box, shot just wide. The first one though, even though it's come to him unexpectedly. It's perhaps an experienced striker would have been putting that home, as Strain also comes on to replace Namo. So Sturton and Namo off, Trapanovsky and Strain on. Celtic are going to bring Colby Donovan on for Julian Araujo in his first start for the club. Brooks in the first half as well. He will come off. McCarthy will also come off, so Nygren will replace him. Donovan for Araujo, Nygren for Hatate. A double change for both teams as we hit the hour mark here at Celtic Park. Celtic leading by 2-0.
Yeah, you know, it's inevitable that I think both teams were going to make changes. I think Dundee United make changes hoping to get back into the game, but Celtic just allow it. And Martin's cute to that. He's very, very clever. Keep all the players now that he has in the squad happy, give them that period of time, and they'll all just fit in to the system that he wants to play. Nothing really is going to change.
As Pat was saying, Celtic have a host of away games coming up in 3 competition. Auchinleck, Talbot in Kilmarnock next Saturday evening, which will be followed by the trip to Bologna. They play Falkirk just during the week there on Wednesday, and then it's that trip to Tynecastle. My goodness, 3, all 4 matches really are in the extremely important category. You would expect them to brush aside Auchinleck, but I guess in football you just never know. So Macclesfield knocking Crystal Palace out of the FA Cup earlier this afternoon, but you won't take that for granted. But when you look at those other games, Packy, the trip to Falkirk here going well, the trip to Tynecastle in the Premiership is going to, obviously that is ginormous games, and you know, this is a very, very important game today for them to be able to get a result, just to settle everything down and then go on with a bit more confidence into those games. They'd like more goals here though, wouldn't they? As Engels plays it out to the right hand side, Donovan's low ball across is cut out by Ferry and cleared, and United will get a free kick for a foul on Sapsford midway inside his own half, left hand side. Celtic looking for a third goal that would absolutely finish this if it's not finished at this point.
Yeah, they are, and no, I think just the result itself and playing, going back to that system and playing the system. There you are. There's a fullback coming in, dealing with Fata, who's the wide player on that side, and then just comfortable from Scales. Just so from that perspective, I think the players are just delighted to get back into this sort of system of play and get one over under their belts before they go into that run of 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, that was Pat was talking, there was a ball slipped through to Amar Fatah, just unable to find him. Tierney closed the door, but in the previous 8 matches under Nancy, that's exactly where the gaps were appearing in the Celtic defence.
Yeah, of course it is, and when you know, Celtic have never played with a back 3 as such. Even it was at times, it wasn't even a back 3. At times it was one defender and 2 sort of almost right and left centre back out of position.
Celtic in possession here with Liam Scales, rolls it midway inside the United half to Tierney on the left hand side, out to Tinekti, taking on Strain, he's holding on to him. It's now found Engels, just outside the box. Engels shoots, deflected, chance for number 3, which is dinked home by Benjamin Nygren, who's just gone, and that will absolutely seal the points. And Celtic looking a whole lot better under the legendary Martin O'Neill, and they are going to close to within 3 points of the leader's heart and move back above Rangers by the close of business tonight. It is Celtic 3, Dundee United 0. Game over.
Again, that man Nygren only on the pitch, finding himself inside the 18-yard box in a great position, and when just showing great composure when the ball comes to him, just waited, got a ball, seen what the goalkeeper is going to do, just lifted it high up into the net to give Celtic the 3rd goal, and the game's really over at this point in time.
And that is an 11th goal of the season for Benjamin Nygren, Pat.
He gets himself into great positions, and for me, those are the positions that he plays, either right or left, high up the pitch. He's not a holding player, he's a runner. He'll get in there, he'll work away, but he finds himself in the box in great positions. time after time, especially when a team is dominating the ball. Now it's a completely different story when you're in Europe and you know, then he has to do a kind of different type of role and match up and make contact with good players.
It's Trapanovsky winning a corner down the left-hand side. It's good play by the North Macedonian, corner only, as he caused trouble against Donovan, plays it off him and behind for a United corner. Well, this game's done for Jim Goodwin's side. We'll have to focus on what's ahead of them. This is when you see this fixture, you don't anticipate your team taking anything from it unless you're challenging for the title. As the corner comes in, it's flicked half away by McGregor and then breaks the edge of the box where it's looped up high with the right foot there by Stevenson to the left side, and Trapanovsky's got some space again, gets his cross ball into the box. Graham wins the header, might drop to Sapsford, who lashes it over the bar. Well, there's an offside flag in any case. Celtic 3, Dundee United 0 on 65 minutes.
Yeah, offside, but it's a half chance for Dundee United, just putting a wee bit of pressure on Celtic. I think that's one of the other things that Celtic have got to get back to, is keeping clean sheets. You know, and every team that wins a championship or wins something at the level they're operating needs to have a really good defensive record. They've shipped, what was it, 18 goals under Wilfred Nancy? Yeah. Something of that nature.
It was,
That's incredible. So that's something I would be very, very strong on too, is get clean sheets.
They hadn't even conceded double-figure goals by this point last season under Brendan Rodgers. Anyway, Calvin Miller, 2-0 Falkirk at St Mirren. As the Bairns solidify their place in the top half of the table.
What a season they're having also,
Wonderful.
For a team. Wonderful. Yeah. John McGlynn, really good manager, really experienced, but also gets into young players the best out of them.
I don't think there's any doubt John McGlynn's spell here, working under Brendan Rodgers during Rodgers' first spell at the club, has had a huge impact on how he coaches his team and how he sets them up. And they're an excellent team to watch as well, generally speaking, Falkirk. A lot of players who've been there since they were in League One, winning League One 2 seasons ago, and then the top 6 of the Premiership.
Yeah, and
they don't look out of place, by the way.
No, and that's the benefit of bringing in top-class coaches into this league. Other people learn from them. You'd heard Andy Halliday talking about Askew and what he's learning as a player who'll probably go into coaching at this stage of his life now, and so you can't have enough of those real experienced coaches.
Celtic have it on the far side with Engels, turned back the way to Trusty. This has been extremely routine from a Celtic point of view, exactly how they wanted it to be today, exactly how Martin O'Neill would have wanted it to be. He always talks about pre-match nerves that he has, but been unfounded today.
You know, when I say that about coaches and all that, you know, the Wilfred Nancy experiment didn't work, we know that. But it was very much a different way of playing. Now, whether that was down to the lack of players.
Well, here they come again, Celtic. McGregor out to the left-hand side. It's Tenecti. He's had a good game today. He's looked lively. Back to Tierney. Now to McGregor, just inside the United box. Back to the left of it for Tenecti. Against Fatah, steps in field. His pass in field is cut out by Sibbald, though. Craig Sibbald can get it away up to Sapsford, who picks up, sliding in his scales. A touch onto, and that draws applause from Sean Maloney down below us. As it's played back to Sapsford down the left, United picked up the loose ball. Trapanovsky chases. Donovan will get there first, and it's rolled back to Schmeichel. We've played 68 minutes, but in the final quarter of the match, Celtic 3, Dundee United 0. United can't wait to get back up the road.
Yeah, there you are. There's another, you know, a right full-back coming on the pitch, and you know, Trusty just out of position, but he's there to cover and make the telling interception, and not go back a week. And Trusty would have been exposed.
Wilfred Nancy's spell in charge of Celtic, 8 games, was shorter than some of the club's interim managers in the past.
Yeah, but again,
there's Tenecti at the edge of the area. It's spilled by the keeper. Maida fires home the rebound. Oh, Richards didn't get that out of the danger zone. And Gaizen Maida scores Celtic's 4th goal. It's been a spectacular return to form for them under the Northern Irishman O'Neill. And it is Celtic 4, Dundee United nil.
That's
in
amazing.
the goals.
That's amazing. Every chance that they've had today, they've put in the back of the net. I would say there's not that many clear-cut chances that they created. They didn't hit the target, and compare that to the last couple of weeks. If you're Wilfred Nancy's sitting looking at guys winding up in the back of the net, I just think there's a much more composed attitude to them today. They kind of are comfortable in the way the game's been played, and every time the chance comes to them, they have that bit of composure. Before, chances were coming and they were snatching at them and they weren't putting them in the back of the net. It's amazing. Obviously they're checking for offside to see was Maeda an offside position when the shot came in at this moment. But
the goal's going to stand.
Yeah.
Goal stands 4-0 Celtic. James Forrest's going to be on shortly, and there'll be others, I think, as well. That's rolled back to Richards. Will the goalkeeper be disappointed? Package. Kilmarnock equalise at Livingston. Wraith are also back on level terms against Arbroath in the Championship, 2-2.
Yeah, I think he might be slightly. He's got good hands to it. You would expect him to just to almost help it round the post instead of popping it out into an area where somebody can come and get on the end of it. It's those type of shots that you've got to deal with.
Here goes Tenecti again, where he balloons it after getting away from strain, smacks the pitch in frustration. Might not be getting another opportunity unless it's Yang who's coming off, Johnny Kenny as well. They might both be coming off here, actually. And it's going to be a triple change by Celtic. So Forrest and Kenny are coming on. Maida's going to come off as Hibs draw level against Motherwell at Easter Road. And being behind to that Nashville Eastleigh goal. It's now Hibs 1, Motherwell 1. Maida coming off then. Forrest will replace Tenecti. I think knew his number was up and he knew he spurned an opportunity to score a goal himself there. Luke McCowan will replace Yang. So the front three changing. Pat Bonner.
Yeah, listen, they played well today, all of them. Maeda scored his goal, wasn't over involved in the game as a striker. Most of the play was in the wide areas. Yang got his goal. I think he's done really well. Even the defensive side, we've seen him getting an applause when he got back. Tenecti has been a handful out on this left-hand side, very creative, inside, outside, back to where he was. So the confidence is back now, and it's amazing what a week does. Those same players were probably booed when they were leaving the stadium last week by the fans who were gathered outside. Now they're getting a round of applause, and that confidence is back. And here's a chance.
Another chance. Kenny's just stones his first touch of the ball.
Oh, it's a save.
Been saved. Corner,
he's
offside anyway, it wouldn't have mattered.
He's offside, and Johnny,
first touch.
Yeah, first touch, and you just were hoping that was even going to go back, and even though he was offside, just to give him the confidence. But what a good save it was. It was a really good save from Richards, but the offside flag went up.
It's turning into a woeful afternoon for Dundee United. Kieran Bowie got that Hibs equaliser, incidentally. Hibs 1, Motherwell 1. But the goal difference right now, if Celtic scored another, United will drop below Aberdeen in the table to 8. Aberdeen host Rangers tomorrow as Tierney squares it to Trusty midway inside his own half. This is important for Celtic to keep going at it, Packy. They've got, 17 and a half minutes.
Yeah,
they want more goals to try and eat into that goal difference advantage that Hearts have.
And those players who have come on also want to be making an impact, and it's going to be a squad effort now from now till the end of the season, and every single one of them have got to contribute.
Well, United have Ayr United in the Cup next Saturday afternoon at Tannadice. They've then got another 2 home games against St Mirren and Hearts to come after that, as they prepare to bring on Julius Eskison.
Yeah, they're going to make 2 substitutions. I think both Ferry's down and not sort of sitting down on the grass. I think his day's done. Whether it's his back that's giving him a little bit of a jip, but I think Dundee United will bring on 2 substitutions here. I'm not sure who else, who's the second one. He hasn't got his jersey on yet.
Well, we'll wait and see. Ferry's certainly down just now, and matches coming up. They won't want there to be anything seriously
Moller,
wrong.
is it?
And Nikolai Moller will be on along with Eskison. So double change for United coming up. Ferry's gone off the pitch, having received a bit of treatment for that lower back problem. And they'd like to tick on to 74 here. Celtic leading by 4 goals to nil, and this is this is what used to be a standard afternoon here at Celtic Park when they were at home for the fans.
Yeah, performance also. I think it's been very, very good today. Goals help, there's no doubt about that. Keeps everybody nice and settled. And just the players seem to have put a really good effort in. Good intensity to the game also, passing, movement, and putting the ball in the back of the net.
United still 7th on goals scored ahead of Aberdeen, who can't hit a barn door just now, the Dons, but they've got an opportunity again in that match tomorrow. It's part of Sports Sound's coverage of the 2 Premiership matches tomorrow. Dundee against Hearts is a 2 o'clock kickoff. Aberdeen Rangers 4:30 kickoff.
Yeah, it's amazing the game also, you know, they're Celtic getting their 3 points and just winning it comprehensively here, and what's gone through now, the Rangers and Hearts sort of kind of almost mentality. They've got to go and get results now tomorrow again, and I think it's going to be not just about quality, but the mentality will be crucial in this run-in.
Yeah, the 1-1 scoreline at Easter Road is not exactly doing either of those two clubs any favours when it comes to potentially muscling in a title challenge themselves, though. Motherwell on 37 points as things stand, 1-1 at Easter Road, having taken the lead earlier. It's 4 points behind Rangers and Celtic, having played a game more, and mostly 7 behind the league leaders. And Hibs 2 points worse off than Motherwell. If one of them can get the victory, then even right now, I mean, Hibs and Motherwell are more than capable of taking points off the top 3 as it stands just now. So there's plenty intrigue to come in the weeks and months ahead.
That's a real competition, isn't it? You know, that's what you want. That's
crying
what
out
really
for this
want.
for decades,
Yeah.
not years, decades.
Yeah, and then that's the way I think, and it makes teams and players better actually when you have a real competition. Listen, Liam, I go back to the 80s when with Dundee United and Aberdeen, you know, quality players, real competition for all of us, and we grew with that.
Proper managers as well, though, Pat, wasn't there?
Of course,
fabulous players, but the managers.
Good manager. It was a different way of playing, different system. Pitches weren't like what they are now. You had to dig in, you had to have a real mentality, all of those type of things. But the pressure was always there, the same pressure that's there now.
No pressure on Celtic right now, 4-0 up. And in absolute cruise control here. Scales playing it short to Donovan to his right as he comes at walking pace up towards the halfway line. United have been off it since the first minute of this match.
Been very disappointed, and I'm very, very disappointed from what I witnessed in the second half in Tannadice when they had real put Celtic under real pressure.
There was a vibrancy about them that night. Okay, they're in their own stadium as well. I guess that is obviously a huge factor, but still it's a
factor, but it's not. It shouldn't be a huge factor, Liam.
It's been a lifeless performance, is what we're trying to say from United as they make the changes, and it will be Moller on for Chevy. He's lasted a lot longer than I thought he would, given he was injured early on. So that is one of the changes. Eskison will replace him, and it will be Moller who will be the other United player to come on as soon as the fourth official's got his board sorted. We'll find out who else is coming off here. Celtic leading by 4-0. Jim Goodwin standing, arms folded. Nothing he can do now. It's Sapsford who's going to come off to be replaced by Moller. United's top scorer comes off. He's not had a kick. 8 goals this season, and there was no real prospect of him adding to that tally as he comes off as well. And on comes Eskison and Moller. Chevy off as well. 3 games at Tannadice to come, 3 massive games for United. They've got to make inroads in the Scottish Cup. Not won it since 2010. And just celebrated the 15-year anniversary of that triumph last year with a big dinner in Dundee. As United come forward down the left, the low ball across is from Trapinovsky, but Schmeichel gathers inside his 6-yard box and bowls it to Tierney. And Forrest with the ball in behind Nygren, given away. It's Eskison onto it, and then back to Stevenson, who finds Sibbald, who plays it back onto the halfway line for Graham. And now with Strain. There's still more than 10 minutes of this game left to go. United in possession with Ryan Strain on this near side, and it's back to Sibbald. And into Graham. It's all right knocking the ball about at this point when you're 4-0 down. Your opponents are already in the winner's enclosure. And Celtic aren't, as they'll hope to be plenty between now and the end of the season. Martin O'Neill at the edge of his technical area down below us. I mentioned those games they've got coming up in 3 competitions. Scottish Cup tie to come next weekend. The pivotal Europa League trip to Italy to take on Bologna. And that game, they'll need to take at least a point from that, you feel, for them to stand a chance of getting through. They play Utrecht here in their final league phase match at the end of the month. You feel they're going to have to get something in the Emilia-Romagna region to make that a realistic possibility, and it's only a realistic possibility because of that fabulous win in Rotterdam under O'Neill against Feyenoord before his interim spell ended. That was his penultimate game, I think, or third from last year. The trip to East Road, the game against Dundee, of course, here. And the week after that, Nygren moves it out to that right side. Engels to the edge of the box. Nygren is towed away from him. He's going to break to McCowan though, just inside the box. Back to McGregor, and out to the right for Donovan. Donovan then back to McGregor. Infield, it goes to Engels, then to McGregor, and then first time Kenny looking to play it into the path of McCowan. Telegraphed though for Ferry, who gets onto it, back to his goalkeeper, and Richards gets it clear first time with the right foot. Played 80 and a half, Celtic 4, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, game's over long ago, and there's just a bit of pride probably from Dundee United, from Celtic, just trying to keep the momentum up and keep the fans interested. 4-0. What they don't want to do is lose a goal, and that just is almost a negative. So they want to shut out. If they can add to the 4 goals, brilliant. But certainly get in 4-0. That's a really good result on a day when the expectations were high and they were able to do it. From Dundee United's perspective, Liam, very, very poor today. I'm very disappointed in them actually, because I expected them to be a little bit more aggressive than what they have been.
Maybe they've been spooked by the O'Neill factor. Maybe something that Jim Goodwin will talk about after the match. Anyway, in the Championship, Arbroath are back in front at Starks Park against Wraith Rovers. They lead 3-2. And there was more goal scoring further down the divisions. I think it was Edinburgh City now 1, Stirling Albion 2. And I'll get you through the score lines in just a moment. United on the ball with Ross Graham at the edge of his own box. Plays it to Kerestes. So here in the Premiership, Celtic 4, Dundee United 0. Hibs 1, Motherwell 1 at Easter Road. Maswanise opening the scoring, Bowie equalising. Here comes Celtic looking for a 5th here. It is Kenny, shoots, saved by Richards, blocked by Richards and behind for the corner. Good play by Celtic and good play by Johnny Kenny, stretching his legs there. They have the corner. Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 1, and St Mirren 0, Falkirk 2.
Yeah, tight angle for him. The goalkeeper stood up well, but I think he was right to take the shot on. You know, he could easily have cut it back to Nygren, who's been man-marked, but the space was there. Go drive in, be confident, go and strike it, and if it goes through the goalkeeper, you get your goal. But it's a difficult angle for him to score on.
Out-swinging corner coming up for Celtic through Arne Engels over on the north stand side. Right-footed, bends it in, headed away by Kerestes, only as far as Forrest, who clips for goal and over the bar, and it stays Celtic 4, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, he just took it almost on the second touch. He wasn't quite in a position where to get power into it. He just tried to clip it over the top of everybody, just goes over the crossbar. But yeah, this game just petering out now from that perspective. But I'm just looking down at the board down here, and they must be going, why do we not make that decision initially and put our Martin O'Neill in and take our time when we need to get the right choice, or even bring Wilfred Nancy in if that's what we were going to do in the summer, if that's what they want to make that big change happen. Just it's incredible.
Yeah, and many Celtic supporters feel that's not being smart after the event either. I mean, it was an absolute nightmare that Wilfred Nancy had here, and who knows, Celtic could have lost those games with O'Neill in the dugout. We don't know. They missed all those opportunities in the vast majority of Nancy's matches.
And it could have been so much different if they had to put 1 or 2 of those goals in against Rangers, against Aberdeen. They won the game against Aberdeen.
It was a
but
game at Tannadice. It was a game at Tannadice. Even against Hearts here in his first game.
Yeah.
Celtic dominated that first half of the match, and then Braga scored late in the first half, took the stuffing right out of them.
Yeah.
And Nancy didn't recover from that.
Yeah, and they had so many chances to kill the game off.
The Roma game could have been about 8-0.
Yeah, today they end up putting the ball in the back of the net. What would Wilfred Nancy give for at least one or two of those goals?
Well, he's gone, and Celtic have regrouped sufficiently this afternoon to sweep a poor Dundee United aside as Fata picks up and turns it in field to Sybil. It's a danger that Dundee United and Aberdeen could be stuck in this mid-table wasteland with nothing really to fight for. They've got to try and make a push for the top six.
Top six is their target. There's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance for Fata, but he can't control the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, and it goes behind for the goal kick to Celtic. Many fans heading for the exits. A quick exit, try and beat the traffic. 5 minutes of the 90 to play. Celtic 4, Dundee United 0.
Yeah, he's been good, Fata, since he's come on. He's been clever. Lots of good touches and creating a few things.
Kenny to Forrest, the edge of the box, scampers in field, shoots with the right foot again, and it's wide, well wide. Skews it on his right side, of course, and it will be a goal kick. Stays 4-0 to the hosts.
Yeah, his weaker side, of course. He could have picked out Johnny Kenny again when he came on the inside, but again going for glory. Stretching Dundee United stretch now at the back, obviously pushing players forward.
He's better with his right foot these days, James Forrest. Remember, it was there for standing on, wasn't it? And then he worked with Brendan Rodgers, who really did work on him. And actually, when he would cut in field and it was on his right side, he would use the outside of that boot rather than potentially go for a more difficult left foot effort. We've seen him score plenty of goals with the outside of the right boot as well. Yeah,
normally he plays over on the right. This time he's kind of coming on the left-hand side, and we've seen now twice he's coming on the inside, but just didn't quite make the right connection.
Tierney back to Scales, and infield to Callum McGregor, who goes back to Trusty. So Celtic 4, United 0, Hibs 1, Motherwell 1, Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 1. Dakar's equaliser for Killie in that scrap at the bottom of the table. Samira 0, Falkirk 2, Yates and Miller with the goals for the Bairns. In the Championship, the matches that withstood the weather: Ayr United 1, Ayr Geonians 1, Raith Rovers 2, Arbroath 3. Here comes Celtic down the right with Johnny Kenny again, level with the penalty spot of United as he turns it back to Donovan, and infield to McCowan, who finds Forrest, who plays it to Nygren, to his left for Tierney, and down the left side it goes for James Forrest. Forrest low ball across, is cut out by Carestes and away by Stevenson. League One, Cove Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 0, Queen of the South 2, Kelty 1, Stennismuir 3, East 5-0. In fact, they've just scored a fourth of Stenny by all accounts. League 2, Edinburgh City 1, Stirling Albion 3, and 4 for 1, Stranraer 2. And those matches all heading into the closing stages. As we are here, 87 played. Beyond that now, Celtic 4, United 0. It's as comfortable as Celtic have been this season.
Very, very comfortable. There's no doubt about that. Relaxed, no frustration around the stadium, but that's the game. You know, what do you want? Do you want a competitive game? Do you want a bit of frustration to get the adrenaline going, or do you want just to win every game 4-5-0?
The Celtic fans don't want a competitive game here. Of course they don't.
But a
lot of other people do.
Yeah, I'm just talking about football in general. You know, it's you want to be kind of almost on the edge of your seat at times. That's the games I like.
Well, I mean,
but come out on the right side of it.
That's what the fans want for whoever it is that they support. I mean, this has been an uncompetitive game for sure. There's been plenty good ones though this term, and there's a competitive Premiership at last for the first time in decades, with other clubs muscling in on the big two in this city.
Yeah, I think the big game for Celtic coming up will be the Hearts game at Tynecastle. It's an enormous game, and they were turned over there the last time, and
well beaten there last time.
If Hearts can keep that sort of kind of almost form up that they've shown, tomorrow's a big game for them again.
Oh, back to the scene of the crime in 1986 for Hearts.
Yeah,
at Dens Park.
I wasn't going to say it.
No, because you were celebrating that day. The Hearts fans left crestfallen, a chance to potentially help exorcise some of the ghosts of that campaign when they continue their march at the top of the Premiership as they visit Dens Park tomorrow. The first of a double header in the Premiership with Aberdeen Rangers to come a little later. 2 o'clock and 4:30 kickoffs respectively on Sunday Sports Sound tomorrow. Highlights and sports scene of this one and the other 3 in the Premiership to come this evening on the BBC Scotland channel at 7:15. A little later, the repeat on BBC One. The same after the matches tomorrow as well. The United fans might want to avoid that, but they are in here. Left-hand side, Drapanovsky inside the box, pulls it back, and he's going to have to settle for a corner again. In fairness to Christian Drapanovsky, he's come on, he's looked positive when he's gotten the ball. We're well into the 90th minute here. Celtic 4, Dundee United 0, as Yang's named the home team's man of the match.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with it, but that was a chance for Drapanovsky. He did well. I thought he could have struck the ball across Schmeichel just to see how Schmeichel would react. He just tried to get to the byline and pick somebody out with a little cutback.
United corner, Benton on top of Schmeichel, who punches it away. Just 2 minutes being added on at the end of the match here, and we're into the first of them. As United pick up the strain on this right-hand side, bends the ball in, it's a decent cross. It's flicked away though by Donovan, and McCowan completes the clearance. Down that right-hand side goes Celtic, and an opportunity to potentially try and finish with a flourish here. It's rolled through towards Nygren, but Ferry gets there first, gives it back to Richards, who clears first time with the right foot. McGregor with a cushion header to his right for Luke McCowan, who I was speaking to after the match in Rotterdam, and he was just talking about how big a dream it was to work under Martin O'Neill, and he was devastated it was only for a matter of weeks. Well, he's back at the club now, and I'm sure the Celtic players will all be feeling a lot better about themselves, not just because of the result today, but they've got coaching staff who they clearly enjoyed working under in the late autumn, and they're all back now as Nygren rolls at the edge of the box for Tierney. Tierney finds Forrest down at the byline. Oh dear, he's chipped it straight behind, obviously caught in two minds. They're the veteran, and it will be a goal kick to Dundee United, and went to the second of the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Pat, the second half has been an absolute formality. In fact, you could argue the whole match has been.
It has, to be honest. Dundee United didn't really do anything, even when they went to a back four. They were too stretched, they were too deep. They should have been pushing up, putting a lot of pressure on at Celtic, and not allowing them to just dictate the game from back to middle to front.
Nygren with a header back to McGregor. It's now with Benjamin Nygren again, and then in field he takes it into the United half for Forrest. Back to McGregor, but this is the final few seconds of the match, and all that's left is for the Celtic fans to acclaim one of the biggest heroes in this club's long and illustrious history, in the shape of Martin O'Neill, who has had the desired effect here of 4-0 success over Jim Goodwin's Dundee United. And as comfortable as it could have been, really, for the returning Celtic manager. And it's a little baby step away from the Wilfred Nancy nightmare here, and another step towards a bit of redemption, as well as they try and retain their title in what's been a challenging campaign, to say the least, for the champions. United didn't offer much at all. Few starting efforts in the first half, but if you don't take them, you'll be made to pay. And Yang and Engels had Celtic 2-0 up at the break. Nygren would make it 3 on 63, with Maida 6 minutes later making it 4. They had a few other opportunities, Celtic, to make it a more handsome scoreline than it was. And they go above Rangers into second, and to within 3 points of the leaders' hearts. The great pretenders, who are off to Dens Park tomorrow, looking to re-establish an advantage at the top of the table. You wouldn't put it past them, but for now, Celtic have the 3 points that they so desired, with a 4-0 win over Dundee United. It's Falkirk up next for the champions for Dundee United. It is Ayr United in the Scottish Cup before a couple of home games in the Premiership for them to try and get their season on track. There's 2 wins in 13 for them. But Celtic, who are the story this afternoon, it's Martin O'Neill who's the story this afternoon, because it finished here in Glasgow's East End. Celtic 4, Dundee United 0.
He goes